Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mindful Magazine Chats channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you my review on the brand new Holo Taco Pixel Perfect collection. It includes 7 brand new punchy pastel glitter bomb shades, except they have square glitters in them as well, which is a bit of a different take from Holo Taco, but we'll get into that soon enough. I will say I think the theming for this collection is really unique. I don't think I've ever seen another polished brand do this exact take on kind of like this 8-bit style, especially with the square glitters like I mentioned before. I think it really adds an extra layer to the whole theming of it, and as a fan of the video game Stardew Valley, I feel like this collection just reminds me so much of it. I will include kind of a mood board of what Stardew Valley kind of feels like, so you guys know what I'm saying. But I've been in the mood for sparkles for a while now, so I'm really happy that this collection is coming and it's here to stay. It is not limited edition, so you guys don't have to rush to pick these up right now. I'm really excited to share these with you all, so let's just get into the swatches. Alright, first up, we're going to start with Bite My Peach. Now, I will say that I do not have the official descriptions for these polishes, so I'm kind of freeballing here, but I will describe this one as a peach holographic jelly featuring square glitters. I was really surprised with this one. It was really warm and summery, and I think it really fit the vibe of the theme really well. And I know people are going to have their comments about the square glitters, but because these are lighter shades, I feel like they really do not show up as much as you would think with some of the darker shades like Inside Job. Next up, we have a coin toss, which I would describe as a pale gold holographic jelly featuring square glitters. This one, I know that people have been wanting a gold that's not super green leaning like we have gotten from Holo Taco over and over again, or yellows that are basically orange. So I think this one will definitely fill that gap of just a neutral pale gold, and I think it works really well with the square glitters as well. It makes it even more holographic, and it's not super sheer either. It's about the same opacity as all the other ones in this collection. Following that up, we have Bonus Life, which is a beautiful mint holographic jelly featuring the square glitters once again. Honestly, I do get this one confused with the blue in the collection, but I will say that on camera, this polish leans a lot more blue than it looks in real life. On my fingers, it looks like a true mint green, definitely green for sure, but it's definitely really pretty, and I like it more than Mint Mojito, which is kind of the pastel linear equivalent of this shade. And this polish really reminds me of Stardew Valley, especially just like the cool green mintness of it all. Next in our rainbow is 8-Bit Blues. This one I would describe as a sky blue holographic jelly featuring square glitters. I do apply this one a little bit more sheer, but you can definitely build it up in the 3 coats as well. However, I would say that out of all of them, it probably is the one that is the most sheer. And when I first saw it, I thought this is gonna be an exact dupe for Holo Taco's Frostlight, except of course with the square glitters. But as I will show later, Frostlight leans very much in the cornflower blue zone, and this is a true like aqua sky blue in my opinion. Our next shade is going to be Lo-Fi Lavender. I would describe this one as an icy lavender holographic jelly featuring square glitters. I feel like Holo Taco has given us a lot of these very cool toned purples in the past, but this one does lean a little bit more on the blue side, so I guess some people could see it as like a blurple shade, but in my opinion, I think it's a true lavender shade. It's really pretty, and I think it fits well into the Holo Taco catalog. I think this might be one of the best sellers for this collection as well. I also really like the name for this polish for some reason. I think it's like super cute and encapsulates the theme very well. Surprise, surprise, we have another purple in this lineup. This is Glitch and Glam, which I would describe as a medium orchid purple holographic jelly featuring square glitters. While I know some people are going to be disappointed with another purple in this rainbow lineup, I do think it fits in well, and originally I did think it reminded me of Holo Taco's Inside Job because they are both kind of a grape leaning purple, but this one is a lot lighter in tone, and while it is a pastel, it's definitely still punchy in my opinion, which goes for all of the shades in this collection. They're not super muted like the cottagecore shades. Alrighty, we have finally reached the end of the rainbow and we're ending it off with Control Cutie, which I would describe as a bubblegum pink holographic jelly featuring square glitters. This one is another one that is going to be on the more sheer side, so just maybe have thicker coats when you're applying this, but the wide brush makes it really easy to do that. I found all of these had a beautiful formula that worked up very nicely into 3 coats. Also, I really don't like the name for this polish. It just sounds kind of, I don't know, like cringy, I guess, but the shade itself is really, really cute, so I can see why it's called Control Cutie. Alright, let's start with comparisons. First, I wanted to showcase some of the warmer shades in this collection. As you can see, like I said, Coin Toss is a lot more warmer slash neutral leaning compared to Lemon Spritzer from the previous pastel shade. And I also didn't really have any good comparisons for Bite My Peach, so I thought I'd show it next to the new Disco Inferno. Next up, I did want to showcase some of the pinky purple shades, and here I wanted to see if I could try and recreate Control Cutie by layering Pink Fizz and Holo Taco's Menchie the Cat on top. I feel like I got a good in-between shade between Menchie and Control Cutie, so maybe if you like that outcome, you can just layer those if you have those 2 polishes, because I think Pink Fizz has a very similar undertone. Now we are going to look at some of the comparisons for the purple shades. I don't really have anything super close to Glitch and Glam, but for Lo-Fi Lavender, I feel like it's similar enough to Lavender Syrup as well as the Glam Polish shade, but there's another shade by China Glaze called Pick Me Up Purple, which I think would fit in really, really well. And finally, we have our blue-green shades. I will say that Bonus Life does lean a lot more teal than I envisioned, so that's why I'm comparing it to the new teal with it in case you do have that one. And I will also show Frostlight as well. And Fairy Lights was very, very close to 8-Bit Blues, which definitely surprised me, but it has those added iridescent flakes, so it's definitely not a dupe. Now for Frostlight, as you can see, it definitely leans more purple, and Hydropower is pretty close. Of course, I also had to show the new Bonus Life next to Holo Taco's original glitter. Everything is pine, which makes Bonus Life look basically blue, but I swear it looks more green in real life. Our last comparison is Isle NP's Mila next to Lo-Fi Lavender, which I think have very, very similar undertones, but of course have very different formulas, so they're not dupes. I also thought I would take a second to just show off my nail art that I did with this collection. I thought it came out really amazing and was giving Rainbow Road Super Mario Galaxy vibes. But also I have some simple swatches for you showing off that total glitter goodness in the sun. Are you guys as in love as I am with these polishes? I mean, I know I'm saying that I love sparkles, but these are like the epitome of sparkles, and I feel like you guys are gonna love them because who doesn't like sparkles? Especially like pastel sparkles. I mean, okay, I get it's pastels are not everyone's thing, but just, I don't know, everything colliding, the theming, the colors, the chunky glitter of it all, the fact that like we haven't had a chunky glitter collection from Holo Taco in so long. I mean, I know people have been dying to get these, so I hope people really like these. I think they will. I feel like it's something new but also nostalgic from Holo Taco in a way, with kind of reverting back to this, to just these like all one type of formula collection, and like the pastels, and I don't know, it's just bringing back some good vibes, and I really like the theming of it. You know what, now that I think about it, I wonder if this has to do with like all of the video games like streaming kind of stuff that Christine has been doing on her second channel, because that would be smart. That would be smart. Anyway, as you guys saw, I compared a lot of these shades to some of the pastel linears from a few years ago. I mean, I hope people aren't upset that we're getting another pastel rainbow, because obviously the formula is very, very different. And there's only so many different ways that you can get like a pastel rainbow. The yellow in this one is definitely warmer than the yellow in the original pastel linear collection, but I'm definitely not complaining about the addition of these chunky glitters because they are stunning. I feel like I like these better than the previous like pastel rainbow collection that Holo Taco did a few years ago with the linear holographic shades, but maybe it's just because I've quote-unquote outgrown the linear holographic formula. I feel like when Holo Taco first started, they released so many of those, and I bought so many of those, and I still have them, and I like them for nail art purposes because they're very opaque, but I haven't worn a linear holographic in so long. So I don't know, maybe these days I just prefer the chunky glitters because I'm just in the bright summery mood. I don't know. But either way, I really, really like these. And I think that this is something that people have been asking for a long time. So I think it'll be pretty popular. I'm also glad that they kind of redid the square glitter chunky formula situation again, because I believe it's only been done maybe twice with Smoke Show and Crystal Skies, and those are more like muted drab colors. But since these have the addition of the wide paddle brush, I think it makes applying these chunkier glitters, especially the ones with the squares in them, a lot easier than the previous like holiday glitters. I think the formula for these is not the same as Bless Your Heart, which I know that a lot of people were kind of disappointed by because it wasn't the original Holo Taco chunky glitter formula. And it seems like, at least as far as I'm aware, Christine or Holo Taco hasn't necessarily said that, you know, it is a different formula, but it kind of obviously is. It kind of reminds me of when they reformulated the Frosted Metals with Silent Library, and they're like, yeah, this is a new Frosted Metal. It's like, but it's not the same, but you're saying the same. Anyway, so I do think that Bless Your Heart is really pretty in its own right, but it's not the same as, like, for example, Everything is Pine or Play Rosé. So I think that these new polishes are not the same formula as Bless Your Heart, but they are not the same formula as like Menchie the Cat and Gold Play Button and any of the previous Holo Taco glitters. So I feel like these are a cross between Bless Your Heart and maybe one of the previous ones, like Crystal Skies, I guess. So it's not the same as OG, but it's equally as sparkly, I will say that. So if you're still looking for big, chunky, sparkly bomb, you will be satisfied with these. But I also think that the formula in them is easier to work with as well. It's not as like gritty, if that makes sense, and I think it takes less coats of top coat for them to be smoothed down. So with these, I'm wearing 2 coats of top coat, but some of them honestly didn't feel that bad even after one like thick coat of top coat. So I don't know if that was something that was done on purpose or maybe just my application or what, but maybe look out for that. But yeah, overall, I am really, really happy with this collection. I know I have been saying that basically in every single one of my reviews lately, but I think this one really hit it out of the park. Like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm just in the mood for sparkliness and this is kind of nostalgic or what, but I really, really like this vibe. And I'm really happy that it's not limited edition, because I know that a lot of people were complaining about having like the cool, exciting polishes being limited edition, but I think people are really going to be grateful that these are here to stay. Definitely let me know if you plan on picking any of these up. If I had to pick a favorite, I would say it's probably Control Cutie. I feel like it just really encapsulates the whole aesthetic into just one polish, so I'm really impressed with it. It is on the sheer side as far as the other ones go, so you'll definitely need 3 coats for it, but I definitely think it pays off. And if I had to pick a least favorite, I would probably pick Coin Toss, just because it has kind of a very neutral undertone. It's kind of reminds me of frozen bananas from Holo Taco, in the sense that it's not really warm, but it's not like super cool leaning either. It's kind of like a between color. It reminds me of just like a vintagey gold, almost like almost a beige sandy color. So definitely interesting shade, but I feel like it's not super common in the Holo Taco catalog, so I'm happy that it's there anyway. Feel free to leave all of your thoughts and comments on this collection in the comments below, and I will happily read through them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye!